Swipe right.
Okay, Johnny. Yeah.
All right. We're good?
Yep, we're all good.
All right, here we are, guys. Episode 4 of In the Dirt. Who would have thought already? Brought to you tonight, and as always, by Lube Monkey Racing. Gary and the guys down on Cumberland Street are unbelievable. They will help you out with oil changes, brake work, anything you need down at Wakefield Oil Change Plus. Go down there. Racers go down there, get your fuel, get your filters. Almost time to start stocking up. All right, here we go. What do we got? We got a quick little one. We had another guy, racer, come on board this week. You kind of fill us in.
Yeah, let's get everyone to like and share the video again.
Oh,
Johnny.
yeah.
That seemed to help.
Jeez,
Yeah, that seemed to help.
Brutal.
Can you guys just like and share this, please? That should help a lot. Racer Dave Allen gave me a call today out of the blue. He's also the promoter at that Bay Fest that goes on at the Old Fort there. And he's offering, two general weekend passes, like probably worth at least $400. And I think we kind of want to do a little raffle for that. So I think me and Johnny were talking, would we want to put Bay Fest in a post?
Yeah, you just comment Bay Fest here, and we'll do it for 2 weeks. You comment Bay Fest, we'll go through everybody's, add them up, throw them in a bucket, and maybe we'll have one of those auto generator raffles here in a couple weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
Be cool. But thanks to Dave and All Temp.
All Temp trailer, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a nice little addition to our team. So there we go. Okay, here we go. Let's get to a few things. First of all, Leah from Mosquito reached out, and she said they have transponders this year to make stuff go a little smoother.
Okay.
So they've got that out there, and they wanted to mention the go-karts and a starting point. I believe that's where you may have started.
I ran a couple go-kart races out there.
Yeah, Riley
Circa
Matthews,
1998,
yeah. Tanner Yelakovic, Cody Wolkowski. We went through the list there a couple weeks ago. So yeah, so that's kind of cool. And then our track here, I talked to Trevor Lane this week, and Trevor is going to come on after he goes to the technical meeting at Ogilvie in late March, and he's going to come on here and give the tech updates for next year, and for new guys to know what he'll be looking at, and so that everybody's kind of ready on opening night practice, so they can maybe things will go a little smoother with that. So that was a good thing that Trevor said he would do for us, and yeah, that's pretty cool there.
Well, Johnny, I think we got a pile of nuggets we got this week from drivers. We've reached out, they reached out to us.
Actually, yeah.
I don't know if we're going to get to all of them this week.
If we don't get to everyone this week, don't think we're not liking you or anything like that. It's just the response to all this is actually overwhelming.
Inundated.
Yeah. Oh, you stole it. Eh? He stole that word. I had that earlier. He took that from me. Anyways. Yeah, so what do we got here? We're waiting on info on the Thunder City Invitational to June 13th, 14th, whether it's a...
Yeah, we're not really sure. A heartbeat, for sure.
Yeah,
right?
we've heard that. Wow, we've heard that.
We don't know if it's going to be a big B-Mod show like how it was last year with halfway or spread out between all the classes. We don't really know. So.
No, we haven't really heard anything on that. But yeah, Thunder City, of course, we're all looking forward to racing out there again next year, and all the great volunteers that they have out there. Right from the front gate stuff, everything. They got a pile, and everybody's been, to me, has been fantastic. I don't know about you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, you got in trouble one night there for spinning your tires, but we won't go there.
Yeah, this year, yeah.
Yeah. we won't add too much to that. But, one other thing. We heard and we talked, we reached out, well actually our good buddy Larry Booth, who's in attendance again this week, he reached out to EMO to find out about super stocks, and they're thinking June 27th, 28th.
Which is, right before Canada Day, that
Yeah.
weekend, that border battle weekend in Superior, same weekend.
Yeah, but what they want from the drivers here in town is to reach out. They need 8 to 10 to make it feasible for them. So if you guys want to reach out to EMO or whatever, and to the Strand family, and yeah, get going out there. I'm sure Rick and Larry and a few others, I heard nothing but good things, that they had a fun time out there last year, so hopefully that can get going again this year.
That's a fun track to race on. A little different with no wall, but.
Well, the last time I was there,
Not for you, yeah.
darn near died, but yeah, that 2002 or 3, or you know, you told me too. All right, so here we go. We like dirt on drivers. We like the rumor section. Here we go. We got a pile. We may not get to all of them, but why don't you start us off, Kyle? Like, people have reached out, or we've reached out. It's just kind of a crazy thing.
Super stock pilot Mike Plaz. He messaged me after the show last week. He was pumped up about the podcast and what was going on. So he's got an older car. We were talking the other night. He's got an older, I think, 90s maybe. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it was
so he's
Stager's Leaf Spring. I
he's
think.
updating.
It might have been a Sherry car at one time.
Yeah, he's updating to a 2018 TRC he purchased.
Ooh,
and
that's a pretty big update.
Yeah, and he said he's gonna have another older car out, but kind of for a newer driver to just kind of get his feet wet in that. And then he's also kind of teased about maybe building some chassis next year.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Locally made super stock chassis, we'll see. So we'll see if that happens. But
well, if the steel tariffs come, you never know, right?
yeah, made in Canada. Yeah.
Made in Canada. There you go. What else we got? Oh, you got another. Oh. You had him.
Adam Denhart.
Hey, that's my gym buddy. I see him. We're there 5 times a week, and he's there every day.
Okay.
Seen him tonight.
Adam Denhart. He said same car and everything. Just update, or he had some updates to the rear suspension. He said.
Yeah.
But he was he's running around Thunder City every week. A couple times he said out to Mosquito, and he said he wants to get down to Ogilvy or somewhere down south in April to kind of get the season kick started before he starts up here, which should help, right? So,
yeah. Oh, for sure. Any time. There's a guy who's got into the A mods, and he's progressing. He had a couple runs there where he led for a bit, and
yeah, and he wasn't there every week too,
Yeah.
I think because of work or whatever obligations he had. But yeah, no, he's getting better for sure.
Yeah.
He actually won that show at Mosquito the last. That special, that super mod special.
Yeah. Oh wow, yeah, that's right, yeah. And a real nice guy.
Yeah.
Heck of a guy. Oh, here's another one. Yeah, you're up. You're go again.
I reached out to, I don't know where he's living now. I think up BC, but Fort Francis, Ontario, late model pilot Brad Loveday reached out to old Lunchbox there, and he said he's got all his stuff for sale. He said
that's happened a few times in his career there.
Yeah,
I used to race against him in the early '90s.
Moving stuff around and stuff, getting new stuff. So he, if you're interested in late model stuff, I guess he's got stuff for sale. And I seen a post Trent Fulmer was driving for him the last couple of years. So Trent seems to be backing off, just kind of focusing on his kids' quarter midget racing. But that was kind of a tidbit I got there.
Another good racer from
very good
down there. Real good guy too.
Yeah,
Graphics guy too.
Yeah, Trent Sands.
Yeah.
Another one I got was Tyler Kostecki. He actually just started the end of last year. He purchased Darren Morado's Superstar.
Yeah, and
the racing realtor.
So yeah, the racing realtor, and he came out, and the guy was quick right off the bat.
Wow. Yeah,
I'm like watching this guy, and I'm like, who is this guy? I thought it was Darren Morado.
Well, he was straight.
Straight. Yeah, I was like, wow,
yeah.
This guy's good. So he crashed a couple times after, which is normal. But yeah, he had it going right off the bat.
Nice for sure. Yeah, I look for good things out of him. He said he plans on running Thunder City every week, going for Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
And then a few U.S. invitationals, and then hopes to get the States a couple times for regular weekends and stuff like that. So
I've never even really met him, but
I actually grew up with his brother. He's a couple years older than me. He's a good guy. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, looking forward to maybe having a beer with him this summer.
Yep.
All right, I got a couple here. Keith LaPlante.
Okay.
Good guy.
Yep.
Another good guy. He bought a newer car last year, updated his chassis, and as the year progressed, I think he was getting better and better. Like most guys out there, like when it first started, guys were sort of struggling at times, but now everybody seems to be picking up the pace or getting better more and more nights, and Keith's another perfect example of that. And he said he made a ton of gains towards the end of the year, and he's going to run Thunder City, Mosquito when he can. I think that's kind of the feeling out there.
I'm sure yeah, too, right? So
yeah, that's been a question. Yeah, but people are saying that they'll be out there when they can. And he wants to, we hear this every week, this Dead Horse Creek. We're beating a dead horse here. But yeah, everybody seems to want to go out there and give it a try. More than Manitoba.
More than Manitoba, yeah.
And he wants to go to Emo, Kenora, and a few other places. So yeah, Keith's a good guy, and look forward to racing against him this year. Mitchell family.
That's family.
Yeah.
There's a few of those out there, yeah.
Yeah, there's a few of those out there. Once again, they park just behind me. Good guys. Like, really good guys. Been involved in it for all the right reasons for a lot of years, right from the 90s. Like
South Gillies guys.
Yeah.
South Gillies, yeah.
Yeah, super good guys, and I have a lot of respect for them. But Matt said Matt, who, not sneaky fast, he just got plain old fast by the end of the year last year. And that,
the purple power cars.
yeah, he was running that thing up against the wall a lot of times. And yeah, that thing was moving. I think I know where he gets his motors in Winnipeg, but
okay.
Yeah, he never told me that.
I noticed that last year. He was a lot quicker. Yeah. He was a couple top fives, I think, too. So.
Yeah, he really picked up the pace. He's basically doing the same thing. New body, gonna try and maybe get into Manitoba again. Kenora and Emo, maybe hit the States, try that a little bit. But yeah, that's basically what Matt's up to. Don is going to come out and he is refreshing his motor. Well, you won't believe this. That motor was run in the 90s at Mosquito without a rebuild. So that thing's got to have 100 plus nights, 150 maybe, and he's refreshing that for this year. And then the brother David with Matt and David are brothers, and David he's ready to go, and he's going to come out, and so yeah, that's the Mitchell family, what they got going on.
I got one more.
Okay.
Mark Earl, who actually him and Keith LaPlante kind of travel in tandem there.
Yeah,
so he kind of felt
buddy system.
Yeah, so he kind of said the same as Keith. 2-day shows in Emo, 2-day showing July 18th and 19th at Dead Horse Creek.
Yeah.
And then he was going to hit Kenora on the Sunday on the way home. And then, just Letter City, and then he liked Mosquito, so
the new motor.
Go out there too. And he has a new motor,
yeah.
He's actually in Mexico right now. He messaged me while I was in Mexico, so lucky him.
Couple more quick ones. Bryce Melanson, I think that Mosquito weekend, he got in a pretty good wreck there on the Sunday. Tore that car up pretty good. And they purchased a new to him frame, and he's looking for better things this year. And nice guy, and he's coming out this year with that. He mentioned to me that they have a little raffle. He's got some Blue Jay tickets and some jerseys and stuff. So if you go over to the Melanson MLA Racing, or I think something like that.
MLA, I think it's MLA.
MLA Racing. Go over to there, and he's got a draw, and help the guy out. Like, we all need sponsors. We all need money. This climate this year is a little tougher. It's been a harder go this winter to get money, but and that's what makes us go around.
Just thinking aloud, I don't know if did you mention Tanner Williamson?
No, I haven't.
Okay, no, I was just thinking, crowd favorite. Fans seem to love him here. Competitors sometimes. But he's fun to watch. I'll say that.
Added me as a friend, and said he loves the show.
Yep.
And he might have some info next week that we'll be able to reveal on the show on him. So that's kind of cool. Darren Wolfred.
Yep.
That guy. That's the definition of consistency at our
That's the word
speed.
that just popped into my head. Yeah, he's top 5 every week, it seems.
Every week for years. Yeah. And whose car is that he has? Is that was that Tanner Ulakovic? Is that where he bought that?
Yeah.
That's where, yeah. Yeah, that was his street talk. Well, and Darren has been nothing but consistent. I reached out to him. I sort of maybe asked him to come on the show at some point, and he was a little adamant. Man, I'm not not really the guy for that, but
Trouble talking to his wife, he said.
yeah, maybe, yeah. And he said he's got
Police help though.
yeah, he's got this year. If you remember, he blew up just before the Whiskey Row at our invitational, and that hurt street stock guy. He was devastated not to be in that, but he's got a new motor being built for this year, and for the first time, he's planning on going south to start the year.
Okay.
Wow, and so he's going there, and he wanted to mention that his son is going to race go-karts this year. Trip, I believe his name is, and that's basically.
Well,
there's still some more. But
speaking of that, John, where's he going to race his go-kart? I don't know if we really touched on.
Well, we mentioned we did at the start. Mosquito having the go-karts, and you guys,
Yeah.
So there was rumors of Thunder City having some sort of track in the back there for something.
There was,
I don't know if that's a dead issue or not, but all right. It's the time most people look forward to in the show. Time to get in the dirty lounge.
He's in the bullpen.
Yeah, he's in the bullpen sitting there. The interview is brought to you by our good friends at Sign Design. James and Jen will set you up. They'll wrap your car. I don't know. They probably do Rick's too. Yeah, they do Kyle's. They do myself's. And wait till you see my wrap for next year. Wait till you guys see that one. You thought other ones were bright and freaky. Wait till you see this thing. So that's just a shout out to Sign Design. But here we go. Let's welcome into the dirty lounge the throttle smasher, stomper, Rick Simpson.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. Compliments of Thunder Bay Truck Center for you guys.
Oh wow! Look at that.
I had to go exchange that coat today for you.
Okay.
I had the wrong one.
Oh,
There you go.
beauty.
Yeah,
Oh
thanks
wow!
for having me.
Awesome.
Appreciate you guys doing this podcast.
Yeah. Here, come sit down there. And look at that. Bearing gifts. So did the Canadian Dirt Track Center and Salina brought stuff, and Rick's added to the bucket there with the 77K. We're gonna have to add another level like the Stanley Cup, he said. So awesome.
Yeah, you're gonna fill it up in no time.
Okay, yeah, great to have you on the show. What do you think?
This is awesome. Greatly appreciated. I know a lot of people have a lot of great things to say about you guys doing this. Thunder Bay needed it, and it's greatly appreciated.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Kyle's already decked up.
Okay, so I guess we'll start probably back in Riverview, how you kind of got started in racing, probably Uncle Ken.
Uncle Ken, number 70. I was young, real young, and then he raced for himself and my dad for 4 years, and then he stopped, and then he raced modified for Gary Andrews for a few years, and then Brian Nixon in a late model, and then that was pretty much it. I think he raced Gary Soderholm's car a couple times.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple times, and then then that was pretty much the end of his career. But that's how we got into racing, and loved it ever since.
Well, like we've said on the show, once it's in you, you know that it's impossible to get out. It's beyond a drug. And then so from there you went a few years after Riverview was closed, obviously, and then I remember you back when I was racing in Evo, you had the street stock. Yeah, so you started there.
I think there was a time in between though, Rick. I don't think like in between when Riverview closed and Mosquito. I
didn't race at all, and wouldn't be here today ever. A lot of people know what the K is in my name. I'm not sure if you guys know what the K means. So I was, 70K is for Robbie Krasvich. Greg Reeves and I, a very close friend, passed away. We were snowmobiling money, passed away 25 years ago, just last month. So it's, and I've said it before, and a lot of us wouldn't be sitting here just for one guy that passed away, but that's what happened, and hopefully we're making him proud for doing something that.
Yeah, it's a lot of like my story with Jimmy Bulldog, the same idea. And
yeah. So that's something that Greg and I hold dear to our hearts for a very long time, and there's a reason for it. But anyway, yeah.
So what year about did you start?
2000 is the year we started. It was Larry Groom was driving by. We found a Brookerman's, I think it was one of the Brookerman brothers, can't think of his name. Anyway, and Johnny Stahl's car. They raced it, I think, at Mosquito, and I remember Larry Groom driving by Greg Reed's parents' house, and he could recognize the roof post and pulled in. So it was was Larry's groom car from Riverview a long time.
Oh, I remember the bright car there.
Yeah,
15 Dairy Queen and whatever.
Arnold and Dan Brookman.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't think of their cousin. But that's where it started with them. And then Greg and I started, it went on for a year, then we had some success, got in a little bit of trouble for being a little bit of a hothead then, but got suspended for a week, but
Really?
Oh yeah. But didn't know too much then, to use my head, but that happens in racing. You have to learn to control it.
Yeah, oh, for sure. So,
Go ahead, John.
so you do the street stock.
Street stock for 1 year, then we went second year in street stock. We won it was an awesome year. Raced again. I think we won the Sunny. It was Paul Clausen was the main guy. Passed away.
Yeah.
Won the championship. Won that. Then sold the car. Then right off the trailer last week, won against Rick Denhart. And then we went to Whiskey Row with a borrowed car. My brother put together when I was working out of town, and then we won the Whiskey Row Classic.
Oh wow!
Yeah, with a borrowed.
So you
car.
are a Whiskey Row winner too.
Whiskey Row winner from a long time ago, and that might be able to race that this year. We'll see.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was gonna get to that a little bit later. On that. I heard a little teaser of that, but you might have just let the cat out of the bag on some of that stuff there.
Well, I was gonna say, so you ran in 2 years in street stocks. Then what kind of made you go into this? I think you went into the Super the next year.
Went to Super. I was watching Jeff Lindsay back then. Was awesome to watch. A great racer, and I thought I was gonna go to the Super stocks, and I was pretty dominant in the street stocks the second year, and then Super stock. You learn in a hurry. I was getting lapped in hot laps. Never mind. Next year it was a game changer.
Humbling sport.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Well, and I think that's when you kind of started going to the States too, right? To get then really kind of your eyes open.
There's 55 to 50 supers and not a regular.
Yeah, back then, for sure.
You didn't have to
It's like our B-Mod class here now.
Well, yeah.
2 to 3 semis every night in the States. No matter which track you're at.
Yeah, and the super stocks, that class has kind of dwindled down quite a bit.
It seems to be picking a little bit back.
Yeah. It's basically a lot of the same dudes have been doing it for a long time, and then there's a group of younger guys coming into that too. The super stock class here is healthy. Because every class here is healthy, right?
So raced that for 2002, right till my daughter was born, and then 2008, and kind of let it all go, and then.
Speaking of daughter, we have a little mutual thing there. Our daughters play high school sports against each other, and Rick and I are at the gymnasiums a bunch of times throughout the winter.
Yeah.
We were our school was better at basketball, and they were better at volleyball.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun with it all throughout the winter.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Well, maybe those years you were going down in the States, and you guys see maybe success later on, but those first couple of years, you kind of get your ass kicked, and what that's like mentally. Eventually, you kind of broke through and won a couple of features. Just kind of
broke through. It was, I'm telling you, the first few years, and that's where my brother and I and Donnie Chernosky, we worked on that car, and I can't thank those guys enough. Made a lot of enemies, and a lot of those enemies are very close friends now. It's a very competitive sport.
Oh yeah.
Down there, and you didn't have to be afraid to crinkle a fender then because you were getting her. A couple years of real struggle, and then a couple wins come at Proctor, then a win at Superior, lots of second places, and lots of rainouts.
Late nights,
the sun come up the next day, but
lots of fun, though, right?
Lots of fun.
You trade it for anything.
Trade it for the world, and couldn't thank everyone back then to make it all happen. Right?
So you did that, and then it sort of died off.
Right off, right till my daughter was born. I raced Todd Bonney's car for a couple years, on and off, and then it just died off right till Mosquito.
So
go ahead, Johnny.
So here we are now. Mosquito, the revival of that, it was the Simpson family. Was it David? Maybe
it was David. David went and approached the Harrys. 2014, and he must have been.
He's just 16, 15 at the time.
Just started, I think. Yeah. Second or third year. Yeah.
Second year,
Yeah.
yeah, he was, cause he was driving.
Yeah.
So the second, he went on his own out there and it was totally his idea and he'd come home and I think my brother and I were having a beer in his garage and he'd say, okay, well, let's go for a ride.
Well, because when I heard that, I think my girlfriend at the time told me and I didn't believe her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
What was it like when you got
Oh, you wouldn't even know there was a racetrack
Yeah.
there. It was completely level, all the fence was down and, yeah, it was.
And that was midsummer, right?
Midsummer,
You had that
we
race
had
in September.
6 weeks, 8
Yeah.
weeks,
Oh,
6 to 8
wow.
weeks, yeah. There every night cutting grass. And it was hit.
Yeah,
It was hit.
I think I fixed the generator that first
No,
year.
and I was gonna mention that, you beat me to it.
Yeah, maybe that first year. Yeah.
The first or second year I was there and I'm like, I don't know nothing about how to fix this, and you were there.
Yeah, because I was a fan, I was probably the first
You
guy.
were the first one there, and
Yeah.
you come over and fixed it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, no.
That's for sure.
Well, you would have seen me lots, and Kyle probably. We would probably have more laps around that speedway than anybody, right? At Thunder City later on. We would come and visit and talk and see what was going on all the time. Yeah. So you guys do that, and how
It just went. We just went around, got some small sponsors, and go ahead.
Oh, and talk about like the help you had. I remember
The help?
Tony Liddell and Greg Reed, all those
Because
same guys, yeah.
Same guys that are here now, that are still involved with the sport, and the help that we had with them coming out was tremendous. Like, you can't do it without help, and then, bringing bleachers from the Baseball Central the very first year, and trailer them out there.
Yeah.
Dave Allen was a big help the very first year, helped us out, and then, every year everyone helped us out, of course.
Yeah.
But,
And eventually Chaz truck was open.
Chad-
A lot of guys.
he wanted to race so bad, he brought his bulldozer to scrape all the mud off the racetrack.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, like.
Oh, yeah.
'cause
It would rain every year
Oh.
one day. It'd just be a mud hole. And
Yeah.
the track always seemed to come. Guys didn't complain. It was good.
bringing
Yeah.
gravel, Tom Smart bringing gravel, like
Yeah.
loads of gravel, and yeah, it was the help and support to make that facility what it was. Then we got our own bleachers, and then it all went there until we brought some big names, drivers.
Oh, wow.
So
Some of those.
we were non-sanctioned.
Yeah.
And
With Soda 100's going at the same time, and we're getting the better guys.
Well, maybe talk about that, Rick. 'Cause I think after the first, didn't Truck Center Dave Max say, well, let's do something big.
Well, he
They
come in-
got the ball rolling. Yeah.
He was, I tell you, the guy's amazing.
Yeah.
The Thunder Bay Truck Center is so professional. And he's the one that brought me in his office, and he goes, and it kind of worked because we called it the Thunder Bay Dirt Track Nationals
Yeah.
at the time, and that's because my nephew's middle name is David Thunder.
Yeah.
Is his
Oh,
middle
really?
name, so that's why we wanted to keep that. And then Dave Mack was like, let's see if we get our name. And I said, it actually is a perfect fit. Thunder Bay Truck Center Dirt Track Nationals, and then that's when we went from what purse we had. We tried to go with the supers at the high class, but the B mods were the dominant class at the time,
Yeah.
and still are to this day.
Yeah. Like the people in Thunder Bay still believe that the B mod, lots of them, is
they don't.
B.
They don't understand
Yeah.
it's the lower class.
Yeah.
Right? But
Yeah.
they're the same amount of money.
Yeah. They're all about
They're
that.
all about the money, but
Yeah.
when Dave approached me and we sat down and talked about it, and then obviously with my brother and nephew, and it was a game changer, and it went from being after how many years, and then I can't even explain.
And then COVID hits.
COVID hits, and then we
Well,
did.
yeah, you have a race.
Yeah,
We still had a race. Couldn't have the people.
Larry Booth and I were in the crowd, but we were talking about it last night. He was supposed to race, and
Whatever.
then Super Stocks didn't end up racing.
You
or
know
whatever,
now. If you knew it now, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. We were there, and it was we had a heck of a time. We had the bleachers to ourselves back in that, and that was a well-run program too that you guys had there.
Yeah.
Just local guys, and
Well, I think Emo did
Emo.
something that
Yeah, that's
year,
right.
and
Yeah,
that's
they
what gave
gave
us
us
the
something.
idea, and it's like, and we're like, it's a lot of work to do.
oh
like,
wow,
it's
yeah,
so
the
much
work you guys did.
And then, so we did it, and then,
And
it
the
was
parties
party.
out there.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, those parties out at Mosquito were legendary almost.
Sean P would bring his
Oh,
jukebox.
John P. Yeah,
So we have to congratulate his son.
Yeah,
Today,
yeah.
and I think it's awesome. His son signed with
Humboldt Broncos.
Yeah, and I called him today and was bugging him. I said, "What rumors do you want me to start about you?"
Well, I was speaking of rumors. I might have heard something that there might be a second car coming out there to come race against you out of the Canadian Dirt Track Center. Another super coming out of there. Maybe, I don't know, coming after you. Maybe Sean likes to just poke the bear and have fun.
Yeah, that's right.
You guys are all good buddies. All these
Very
guys.
good friends
yeah.
with Sean. Very, I have a lot of respect for him, and we tease each other.
Oh yeah,
And I respect it. Rick and Rick, I spend a lot of them.
Rick Simpson.
Yeah, Rick Simpson. I can't remember. They called me Radiator Rick. If that rat fit, So anyway, yeah. But, all good people. It's a good sport. I'm at the racetrack. I leave at the track, and it's there. And I just like giving it 110% when I'm on the racetrack, and that's how I am.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, didn't mean to jump in, John, but I was gonna say, so you did all the mosquito stuff, and then Thunder City was kind of, they were trying to get it going.
Richard was diagnosed with cancer. Norm and actually I phoned Norm. My brother and David and I just had a quick talk. What are we gonna do for this year? And we're like, well, we're not going to.
Was Norm already involved?
No. We didn't know what their plans were. We knew they were getting closer.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to go. Okay, we can't go have a race mosquito and then have a race. It's not great. For the racing community at the time, like you can only really have one venue for that big event to be successful. So we actually phoned Norm, and Norm's like, I was just calling you. I'm going to call you guys. He goes, we need to sit down and talk. So we went to their office, sat down and talked, and brought everyone out to Thunder City and
you guys ran that whole program that weekend.
Yeah, went and talked to Dave Mack, and made sure that everything was all good, and it was a little rough, but it was the same track for everyone. Brand new track.
But what a facility, right?
First
what do we got here?
The best. Yeah. It is hands down the best.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
We're not going to argue.
We're not going to name other tracks, but before the show we were kind of talking stateside,
lots of them are getting pretty run down.
They don't keep all coming. Yeah.
And Norman Louis, they would never ever let that place.
No, our pits there. That's
no mud. You're walking on asphalt.
Yeah.
The highest respect for those two for sure. So.
Yeah.
So after that first invitational, I don't know, Norm or Louis, did they approach you?
I was kind of picking up. I was working for Tranus at the time, and I was picking up some light plants in the front parking lot. And Norm pulled in, and we talked for 5 minutes, and I quit my job the next day.
To be the general manager,
the track manager at the time. Yeah,
promoter
at the time. I was like, Norm and Louis are two stand-up individuals, and highest respect for them, and it just the way it all happened, and then we already had a lot of it established from Mosquito, right, with the sponsors and everything, and Sean sponsored from day one. I can't remember all the sponsors. I know Blue Monkey.
Yeah.
Gary gave us a lot of money one year to bring the purse up for everyone.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of so a lot of people helped out, like your dad, everyone. It was tremendous. And then it all carried on to Thunder City, which was fantastic. For a first year, and you learn lots.
Did you find that to be a pressure?
I know the way I am. A lot of people, they assume I know the way I take everything serious. When I'm there, and that was my job. You forget sometimes a lot of people show up, they're enjoying it, but that was actually my job. To show up, I needed it to be successful. And I know the way my tone of my voice is. I've heard it all before. I know the way I am, but if you know who I am, you know who I am.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a great first year, I thought. And, I couldn't
successful invitational there.
Successful, yeah. It was just, did we have two? I think we did. Didn't we have an early one?
Yeah, we did. We did have a June one too.
Yeah.
To kind of kick it off.
Yeah, to kick it off. They wanted an early one. I can't remember the whole thing, but for the most part, I don't think we lost a week. I don't think.
The Thursday really.
Thursdays,
But and we're lucky here. All these other tracks everywhere else, they rain out. They're done.
Yeah, they're done.
And we get that second, and the crowd might drop off a little the next night, but
still
not awful. So the season ends, and what happens? You decide.
There was a couple things, probably the first time I've ever telling anyone, especially not here.
Yeah.
There was just a couple things that I looked at, and you know, if I was probably 60 years old at the time, had 5 more years or whatever left to work, I'm 45 years old at the time, and I'm like, I don't know, you work by yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and you're asking for sponsors and this and that, and so anyway, I work at LTL now, great company. I had an opportunity to go there, but I had to keep things quiet for a couple of years while I was going there, and it all gonna pay off for me down the road now for why I went there, and that's the same day I'm picking up my truck, Dave Mack sends me a picture of his little tiny car. You know, the little parts car that he has? He sends me a picture, and I sent him a picture of the truck. And I said, Rap would look pretty cool on a race car. He said, come see me. So that's how the race, it all.
And, wow, what a sponsor. He's got to sponsor a dozen cars. I don't know. And then
23 cars.
Holy
23 cars, you know, I'm very fortunate I have. And Dave and I talk weekly, you know, great relationship with him. Business and personal. And met him through the business and, you know, professional, and his whole team there is professional. But yeah, and then he's like, yeah, go pick a car. So, okay.
Wow.
So, but anyway, not realizing what I had for a sponsor, but I went and got a car, and it all worked out. You know, we got second place in points the first year, you know, and picked up kind of being somewhat competitive.
Right off the bat,
off the bat, which was very, you know, spun out, hit my nephew the first corner, the first lap. First race, I'm sure he wasn't very happy. But anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah, so then, now we're going into year 2, which was last season.
Yeah.
Wow, you ran.
I can't remember now, 56 shows or something. You would probably know.
Something like that, yeah.
Something
Well, of course they, yeah.
Yeah, something
And
like
lots of trips south of the border.
Yeah, lots of trips, and
You wanted to.
I just wanted to see if it was still worth racing, if I could still be competitive, because it takes a lot to do. It takes, you know, everyone knows at races, you're spending more time in the garage than at the racetrack, and I just wanted to see if I was still somewhat competitive. You know, sometimes you're not, and then sometimes it's like, oh, okay, I am. Like, but it's tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough sport.
Oh.
You got to be on your game every night.
And it's like we can talk about it. Like one night you'll run good, and you think, okay, I got this, and you're going there the next night with the same thing, and you don't make the feature or something, or you're at the back of your heat, and you're looking like, what the heck, right? It's just it's crazy.
We were second, I don't know how many nights at the start of the year, and then Cole would show up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know.
Wow, yeah.
But
like,
then even in the States, like we run second to Cole. I was like, holy man, like it's tough. But then that Super Stock series started, and then it was on the same night here. I think we rained out.
Yeah.
And I asked Dave, I'm like, but we didn't have points here, luckily, because the track didn't have points. And so I like scooted all the way to Rice Lake. I was 10 miles from Rice Lake, and then they rained out, and you guys didn't rain out here, so we turned around and came back and hit the wall, bent the rear end, and struggled with that for 7 weeks.
And then all of a sudden, whatever, you go down to TRC or Myers.
Myers got a rear end from Myers, and then changed the whole year.
Yeah,
again.
like night and day, right?
Yeah, night and day. Yeah, struggled for anyway. Yeah, night and day difference.
And so you finish the year off.
Here, we won here, the points here.
Yeah.
5th in national points, and then the Canadian points, pretty much if you win here.
Yeah, this is the only track.
Yeah, we raced a couple times that counted in Evo.
Okay.
But yeah, whoever.
And you won out there against.
Yeah, they're all good. I would have been, Larry was there, and then at the start, wherever I started, and my neighbor at the Tanner house was leading. It would have been nice, because I had to catch him. And I was like, I'm like, you know, he had a bit of a lead, and then the caution come out, and I was like, thank God. But so it worked out, and then we raced there 2 nights, and then I figured, we'll go to Hibbing for the Labor Day shootout.
Oh, and you were gonna win that thing, weren't you? He led to the last lap. It's got spun out.
Well, I think I screwed up on the last start. Well, you know, anyway, got used up and probably didn't start the race as best I possibly could. And I wasn't
Labor Day shootout.
It's a huge race to win. And anyway, I left upset, went down the road just to sweep it off, and then that's when that Johnny Hockey died.
Oh, okay.
You know, reading that news, I'm like, my night wasn't that bad.
No.
You know, so you know, that's when you look at it that way.
So there you are. The season's over now. I know this year you told me, and that you're gonna tone it down a bit this year? Well, you got some exciting news too
Yeah,
this summer.
getting married in August 16th, so that's, you know, something definitely looking forward to. She's pretty special to me, obviously.
Yeah.
And, you know, and just spend more time, take my daughter fishing,
Yeah.
you know, you're never home.
Yeah.
You know, at all, so, you know, she's getting older, so wanna do that and, yeah, get married.
So, but you have plans in a couple years?
Yeah, well, Jess was like, as soon as the wedding's over, she's like, are we gonna go racing for the rest of the year? Like, every weekend?
Okay, so.
Like, she's all for it, just, yeah.
Well, she was your pit crew. Larry was telling me she was doing lots of
Oh
work.
yeah, she does everything. She gets right in there and gets it done. You know, and Blair and Ryan who help out here and then come to the States.
Mhm.
You know, can't thank those guys enough either, right?
Yeah.
And but yeah, she's right in it and loves it, and so does my daughter. Well, you guys see my daughter every week when you guys pay us.
Yeah.
First come in, so yeah.
Okay, and what else do you got?
Well, I was gonna ask Rick, are you gonna plan to stay in the super stock or did you?
Yeah.
I know you ran the B-mod.
Ran the
Bertrand's
Bertrand's
yeah.
when we rolled the car over.
What'd you think of that? Just
It was different.
yeah.
It's different. I think it's a little shorter wheelbase. Isn't it, Kyle? I think a little bit, whatever. They're just different.
They steer different.
Well,
There's all rear steer.
Their suspension's more active too.
Yeah.
And
Well, with the big heavy motor up front, and you guys have got the motor placement right. Is
never drove a car with a 4-barrel on it before.
Yeah.
And then it chipped out. Like, you know, never had any of that. And yeah, we did well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like third and a second and eighth. I don't remember anymore.
Oh,
What's that?
the street stock.
Oh,
This summer. Yeah, I almost forgot about it. Yeah, you teased me with that in
a little bit.
Yeah.
So Johnny Stahl and I, he's my other neighbor, and he's got a couple street stocks, and we've talked about it a couple times, and I've always wanted to race the Little Dream.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've talked about it, and he said it's all mine. You know, it's a little ways away. I don't know, and I want to race here a few times, and if I'm competitive here, you know, we'll see. We'll see what it brings.
Yeah, those. I heard a Corey Crasper interview about those street stocks, and he said those guys, those top street stock dudes, they're top street stock dudes for a reason. They've been doing it 100 years or whatever.
You know, so you got to get
those same guys. Yeah. But you, David, and I, you guys are drivers, and you guys
try to be right.
Yeah, well,
It's been 20-something years since you've been in. I haven't been in street stock since 2001.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so those are the.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah.
That Little Dream would be the race to win too.
Oh, yeah. 30 grand plus, yeah.
To make it would be.
To make it.
To absolutely make it.
Imagine winning that.
We'll see. You know, it's Johnny Stahl stuff, and you know, and we just
good stuff.
Top of the line.
Yeah, real good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So. Okay, you got anyone you want to thank, or you?
Well, obviously Thunder Bay Truck Center. You know, can't do it without them. They're, like I said, so professional, and you know, Dave and his team there. Doesn't matter what I need, it's there. You know, you can't ask for anything better.
Yeah, and great, like local sponsor. You said with however many cars,
23 cars. Like it's only his name on our car. You know what I mean? And that's it. And you know, and he sponsors other cars, like 23 other cars.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So it's huge.
Crazy.
And obviously my pit crew, Blair and Ryan and their wives, and Jess, my fiance, and my daughter Jordan. You know, my parents, my brother and nephew. Like without them, I bug them all the time for help. Right?
Yeah.
Always down there to ask them stuff. So.
So, well, I think we're at about 45 minutes here.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, we're going to talk about Sean P, but we'll wait till what happens on the track with him. Eh?
Oh, no. You'll take care of that on the track. No.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's a absolutely great to everyone in the sport. If it wasn't for guys like Sean and Narvies, they're there. They're putting a lot of money out of their own pocket.
Yeah, DC Dave.
Dave.
These guys. We got 3 parts guys in town. They're all
huge.
Yeah, huge.
And
I'm sure they've all benefited from what's going on here in town too.
That's right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think I got everything on here, but no, that's and I really wanted to thank you guys again, because the passion for this sport. We all look at this sport probably the same way, a little different, right? But we all love it and appreciate it, and I just, like I said, this is deadly. Something to do in the winter, right?
Exactly.
I look forward to it every week. It's only your 4th time, and
keeps interesting.
Yeah, well, and guys, if you got info, just send it to us here. It's it's fun.
Yeah.
And I think the response has been so positive so far that, we're having fun, basically. That's what we.
John, I missed last week, but I got a local trivia question again for you.
Oh boy.
I think you should be able to get it.
Well, I didn't get it first.
So 1993 was the last Invitational at Riverview.
Yes.
Who won the late model feature?
Nutsman.
Oh, you got it. Mike
Manic
Nutsman.
Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Hinkemeyer won the modified, I believe.
You might be right. Yeah, I think it might have been 92, but I was 1 year old. But
There you go. Hey,
Yeah.
you didn't think I'd get that one.
Stop the shop.
Awesome. Yeah, I gotta say happy birthday to my wife. It's her, I won't go with what number it is, but it's her birthday this weekend. So remember, like it, share it, tell us what you think. Thank you for listening again. Thanks to Lube Monkey Sign Design, Dave Allen, everybody else involved. We're having a blast. Thanks to our guest, Rick Simpson. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Stay dirty.
Stay dirty, yeah.